Welcome back, everybody. Welcome once again to Mick Coxedge with his paperback books and pulps and digests and anything anything I can grab from this room here, which is surrounded by books. Not just this case behind me, but there's bookcases left, right, and centre. Maybe I should do a little an episode on all the books that I've got around the walls and in bookcases, and it's amazing what you can cram into a little room. It's like the TARDIS in here. There's books everywhere. But anyway, welcome back. It's been a week or so. Just been busy with doing that life stuff. Gets in the way, but it's just I try and work my way around it. But anyway, here I am, and I thought today I was going through some of the UK digests that I haven't really delved into, not necessarily into a publication company, but certainly with the names. So I thought I'd do two today together. I've only got a small amount of books by both of these particular authors, but I thought they're quite interesting books, and I thought I'd give it a go. Ben Sarto and Roland Vane. They're the two I'm going to hone in on today and talk about their books. So first of all, it's going to be Ben Sarto. It's widely known, it's Frank de Fawcett was the name that he used. And we'll start with Ben Sarto. I haven't got all of the books by under the Ben Sarto pseudonym. Wish I did have, but I haven't. There's some great titles out there, but I've got a few to show you, and hopefully you'll enjoy looking at the covers and a little bit of an insight into each of the books and the years and stuff. And then we'll go on in the second part and do Roland Vane around the same time. Let's give it a go. Let's have a look at Ben Sarto versus Roland Vane. Pow. Let's go. Hello, everybody. Here we go. Ben Sarto. Like I said, I haven't got too many with the pseudonym that was used by Frank de Fawcett, but I've got a few Ben Sartos, and they're quite nice, and I thought I'd go through them with you. Anyway, the first one here, right at the front. Let's give this lady pride of place. Chicago Dames. Modern Fiction Limited. I'm trying. If someone can let me know, I'm not too sure. I've read a few things saying that this book is 1943, and another couple of publications I've read online said it's 1947. I'm going to go with the 1947, just because I've got that feel that it's slightly later. To be 1943 and be during the war, I'm not sure. But anyway, it's a lovely looking book. Beautiful artwork by a very famous artist there, H.W. Pearl. And it's glorious. Just exactly what you'd expect from this time period. Beautiful book. Again, very rare and very tough to find. It's in pretty decent shape. And there's some various books on the back there as well. There's Chicago Dame down the bottom. Hijacker's Lady. Miss Otis throws a comeback. She ruled with a rod. Modern Fiction Limited at the top there. And it's a really tough book to find. And it's beautiful. And like I say, Ben Sarto was a house name predominantly used by Frank de Fawcett, who died in 1968. So he was born in 1891 and died in 1968. So he had a full life. And there's some, and they are just typical crime thrillers, detective crime, and they're wonderful. Yeah, it's a tough book to find. It's in pretty good shape. You can see by the spine there. Modern Fiction, Chicago Dames, Ben Sarto. Woo! Next one to the front, Manhattan Terrors. Another red hot new Ben Sarto. Cops can be terrors too, apparently. I don't think that's ever really changed as we go through life, but here they are. Cover art is by Leonard Potts. You can see the LP just at the bottom left-hand corner. Leonard Potts with it. Great artwork. Look at that. she's got the stocking showing there. It's that's a nice looking piece of art. 2 shillings is your price for that one, and worth every penny. This is also by Modern Fiction, 1952 for this little puppy. Spine's a little bit worn on my copy, as you can see. It's gone through the mill a bit, but still. And there's a nice little synopsis on the back, and yeah, it's in pretty decent shape. The spine's a bit worn, but this one does pop up every now and then. Manhattan Terrors. You can get your hands on this for a decent price, but it's to get it in decent condition. That's where you might have to wait a few years. But this one's in pretty good shape. Leonard Potts, magnificent. Leonard Potts again with a Gorilla's Mole. I remember buying this. I think I bought this at one of the Hemsbys years ago, in my rockabilly days. Yeah, it's a great looking book as well. Ben Sarto, Modern Fiction Books again, 1953. Great art by Leonard Potts again. That is what it's all about. Sarto's exposure of the state's worst woman for 2 shillings. And there's Ben Sarto at the top. And yeah, that's your typical early 50s UK paperback artwork. That's captured in one piece of art. Very, very voluptuous looking lady, brunette, with a gun. He's got a gun. They both got guns. Yes, Gorilla's Mole. And there's your synopsis on the back there, as they do on most of these modern fictions. Give you a little bit of idea about the actual book itself. And yeah, not a bad spine. What you'd expect really from these sorts of books. A little bit of wear and tear, but generally not too bad. Gorilla's Mole. I'm not doing any in any order, by the way. I'm just sort of grabbing them as I grabbed them off the shelf earlier. Miss Otis Blows Town. I'm sure your dirty minds are thinking one thing, that is not exactly what Miss Otis wants to do, I don't think. But again, beautiful artwork. I'm not sure who this artist is. I think people could have a guess, but it's very, very nice. A bit risque. It's a Milestone book, so you've probably seen this one before when I've done my Milestone books, but I'll touch on it again here. Beautiful blonde girl in some sort of distress, I would imagine. And yeah, written by Ben Sarto, 1953. This is a Milestone book, which I've done an episode on Milestone books, so this one's already cropped up before, but yeah, 2 shillings, and yes, worth every penny. And there's your smoking advert. Stop smoking on the back. This one's a little bit of a toughie. You Die in Valpasso. Ben Sarto. It's got you've got a guy there with a just under the Ben Sarto with the whip. So he's obviously some sort of plantation. I don't know. There's something going on there with the black lady there. He's obviously a very cruel man, I would imagine. I haven't read this book, but that's the sort of impression I get from this particular artwork here. Yeah, it's Ray Theobald artwork. I don't know if there's a signature on there or not, but that's pretty typical Ray Theobald artwork. That's how he usually draws his ladies. He's actually not too bad. Usually he's a bit hit and miss. Ray, I do love his work, but that's pretty good. That's pretty good. This is from 1956 by Modern Fiction Books, so a little bit later. And I think it's a pretty decent title, really, and quite a tough one. Quite a tough one. Printed in Liverpool Street, London. This one. On the back, we've got our nice little synopsis here. California police, so it's set in the States by all accounts. But yes, maybe on the Mexican border. I'm not excuse me, I'm not too sure. But yeah, pretty good art by Ray Theobald there, not bad. And quite a tough book to find. Yeah, again, my spine looks like it's seen. It's just barely holding on. But all the books I have are all intact. I don't buy books that are falling apart. And hopefully I can try and save them. That's what I'm trying to do with all my books in these little sleeves here. But it's a nice title. You Dine in Valpaso. Just a couple more Ben Sartos. Kiss Me, Kill Me. Now that's a decent bit of artwork. And there's no denying there. Really nice red-headed lady looking a little bit worried. Leonard Potts again. You can just see the P just in that corner, just there is the LP. Leonard Potts. Very, very nicely painted redhead lady there with the very dodgy looking bloke coming in. A gangland tragedy of New York's underworld. Kiss me, kill me! Exclamation mark. Again, the Ben Sarto name, it sold books. It did sell books. People would look for the Ben Sarto name and they'd be guaranteed a really good crime thriller and great artwork. So people would look for these books, and for very good reasons. They're quality books, and that is a quality looking book. In pretty good shape as well. There's your Kiss Me Kill Me on the back. And you can just see a pretty decent spine as well. Ben Sarto. Last one before we go on to Roland Vane. This one's a tough one. Again, Ray Theobald artwork. You can spot it a mile off. Well, I can. Slightly hit and miss, but yeah, it's a tough book to find. I've had this book quite a few years now, probably maybe 12 years, something like that. And I remember buying it off eBay for, I think it was somewhere around the £2 mark. A lot of books I buy are quite expensive. I don't mind admitting it because I collect books. But when I do get lucky, I do like to boast about it. And this one was literally £2 or £2.50. Ray Theobald. God, I love his artwork. It's mad. But it does the job. You've got your drinking, you've got your knife, you've got your blonde in big trouble, you've got the couple at the back, a couple of beatniks having a crazy dance and cuddle. Absolutely brilliant. From 1958, modern fiction books. Yeah, this copy's got a few creases here and there, and the spine's got a whacking great big crease. But well, what do you expect for a couple of quid, you know? And there's the spine. Yeah, not the best. There you go. But I'm happy. And there it is, Riviera Nights. Yeah. The Latin Quarter of Paris, the dazzling lights of the French Riviera. Ben Sarto. That's my last Ben Sarto. Well, I don't have too many. They are very tough to find. And the ones I've got, I'm very happy with. Okay, let's move on next. We'll get them all lined up. And welcome back. Roland Vane now. Again, not too many titles. Some of the books aren't in the best condition, but they're all intact. And even though some look like they've seen better days, I like to think that I'm looking after them, and hopefully they'll survive another 100 years, and maybe they'll go on and on and on, who knows. But at the moment, they're in my possession, and I'm very proud to own them. First off, by Roland Vane on the Phoenix Press Limited from 1948, 49. Not too sure, really. It's very hard to judge with some of these. As you see, the bottom looks like it's had a couple of rips, but you can see Roland Vane down the bottom there. And again, the magnificent artwork by H.W. Pearl. Absolutely, look at that. The Girl Who Surrendered. And she's doing a good job of surrendering, there's no doubt about that. Not putting up much of a fight. She's got a glass of red wine on the side there. Yeah, beautiful artwork. From 1948-49. Roland Vane was obviously a pseudonym used by Ernest Lionel McKeague. And that's for every book in this series written by Roland Vane. And it's, yeah, I know, it's got some nicks and stuff around the corner, but it is intact. And the spine holds true. And it's in pretty decent shape, really. For its year, you know, it's, what's that getting on for now? We're getting on for sort of 75, maybe 74 years old. If I look this good at 74, I'm doing all right. I stopped smoking, said the man with the moustache. And he's found a remedy for the tobacco habit. Yeah, very good. Let's do this monster here. Wowza, wowza, wowza. Well, there's no introduction on the artist because that is definitely Reginald Heade, and there's you can see the signature just in the middle there, Heade, Heade. Love for love's sake, willing sinner. Woo-wee. Quite a chunky book this. When I show you the spine in a little while, it's quite a thick book, and it's quite unusual for a paperback to be a thick book around this time. The stunning artwork by Reginald Heade, again by Ernest Lionel McKeague. My copy again, it's seen better days. It's a little bit of water damage, a couple of creases here and there, but when you look at that artwork of the painted lady, it's top of the tree. That's as good as it gets, in my opinion. Archer Press Limited, 1950. So we're talking 75 years old, this particular book. And it's surviving pretty well. Very unusual, look at that. A blank back cover. There literally is, that's the back cover, not a lot going on. And there is your spine, if I can get it in shot. Very difficult with the light, but yeah, William Sinner, Roland Vane, 1 shilling and sixpence, and quite a thick chunky book as well for a paperback in that time period. So let's have a look at one more time. Reginald Heade artwork, absolutely stunning. Yeah. On to the next one, which is pretty rare. Again, it's an Archer book, 1 shilling and sixpence. Again, it's a Reginald Heade piece of artwork, and yeah, the book's in pretty poor shape. Again, this book I think cost me around £10, maybe £9. I'm not sure. Yes, it looks rough. Yes, would I usually turn my nose up at a book in this? Yes, I would, and I wouldn't buy it. But when it's this rare, it makes me, I have to buy it, and it is rare. I think it's the only copy you'll find on the internet. If you go to a search, this is my copy. You'll see. White Slave Racket. The title is got that connotation. It's written by Roland Vane, so you know it's going to be a good crime thriller, and it's the artwork's by Reginald Heade. So you've got a triple whammy really of the dodgy gangsters, excuse me, and an absolutely strawberry blonde girl laying on the bed with a sort of dishevelled dress. And she's going to become part of the White Slave Racket. Obviously, Roland Vane wrote a few books for the American market in the Leisure Library series, which I've got as well. But and the same book was produced over there with completely different artwork. Excuse me, very similar, but obviously the woman's completely different. On the Leisure Library version, there's the guy's holding her, pulling her arm, and she's on the bed, very similar bed actually, in a different pose. But yeah, this one is a rare one, and could be around 1950. Ernest Lionel McKeague again. And in 1952, they brought out the Leisure Library version in the States. But this is the UK version. And I think you'll agree with me. I done pretty well getting that for that price. There's your spine. Again, not great, but hey ho. And there's your Archer book on the back. Is a sign that you are holding a book that is tough, exciting and thrilling all at the same time. It certainly is. Wow. White Slave Racket. Brilliant. Yeah, this one's a bit of a strange one. I'm not convinced who the artist is. I thought, and I still have the opinion, that it might be Reginald Heade. Some people online have said probably not. I can't see I can't see a signature on here at all. There doesn't appear to be anything, which would be strange for Heade because he did like to sign a lot of his stuff. So, but it's got some Heade characteristics about the lady. But it's a tough one. This one's called Bohemian Love. You bought this for £1. I'm not sure the year, but I would think it's a late 40s, 49 possibly. Yeah, 49. I'd go with 49, maybe a 50, but whoever the artist is, and if it isn't Heade, it's very, very good. And he or she, whoever painted this, should pat themselves on the back because it's beautiful. And that's why gents of an age bought these books back in the 40s and 50s, because, you know, they just come out of the war, and this was the thing that got men excited. They wanted to read about this sort of stuff. Romance, crime thrillers, and this is probably more of a romance thriller, I would imagine. But still, I got it for dead cheap. Can't remember how much it was, but it certainly didn't break any banks. And yeah, I was very happy to buy it. Quite a rare title. It's that picture, the image you'll find on Google Images. That's the only image is my copy. So that might tell you how rare it is. And there's a few other Roland Vane. You've got more titles by Roland Vane. Victor Duroy with Bondage. Yeah. Phoenix Press. Kensington Lane, London. That's where the quality was, ladies and gents. And that's wonderful. Just a few to go. Another rare one, really. Passion's Plaything. Again, stunning artwork. And you can see why these books are highly collectible, because they are completely stunning. And you don't know, you don't really care what the actual inside story is about. You pretty much know what it's going to be. It's going to be a ladies of the night, some sort of crime thriller going on, but a bit of romance as well, and a bit of a tug of war between, you know, the man and the woman, and maybe his wife is involved, and it's all that usual stuff. Passion's Plaything. It's a Phoenix Press. Again, around the 1950, not too sure of the date, and Ernest Lionel McKeague. And again, the artist, I don't know who that artist is. It's probably the same guy that done the last one. If you compare the two faces, no, they are completely different. But Passion's Plaything, very, very tough book, and very risque. You've got the lady there adjusting her suspender belt, and it's beautifully drawn. Maybe a little bit cartoony, a little bit, but still beautiful. And the legs go on and on and on to the bottom with the little tiny shoes. What more can you buy for £1.06? Come on. On the back, a bit more Phoenix Press stuff. You've got Waterman's books in North Road, Brighton. There you go. At some point it was held with them, bought and sold and exchanged. Auction of Souls, yes, of course. Anyway, on to... I bought these out in no particular order, so I'm just literally fishing them out as I go along. As I went round to collect all my... I think I've got all my Roland Vane stuff, but I might have missed one or two, but I'm pretty sure I've got them all. This one's quite an easy title to pick up if you're online and you're going to different vintage book fairs. You can find this one. It's not a real toughie, but it's a nice one. 1952, Night Hawks of Paris, Archer book number 51. And some people online think it's Reginald Heade. I really don't. I'm not convinced by that. So I'm not sure. But it's nice art. It's nice artwork. Menacing bloke there, menacing Frenchman with his beret, terrorising some poor white slaves of New Orleans. Yeah, Night Hawks of Paris. You can pick this up, Archer Books. Again, it's 1952. And they're pretty decent prices as well. There you go. That's the back cover there, Archer Books. And it's K-Win Publishers in America. So it was a dual publication, really, for the American market and the UK. But a nice little book. Very last one that I've got in by Roland Vane. Sinful Sisters. Maybe I left the best till last. You judge for yourself. But very, very risky artwork. And that ticks every box that you can think of by Reginald Heade. That ticks every box of every paint stroke by Reginald Heade. This defines an era. If they are sisters, they're very, very naughty. You can see the underwear, is the hairbrush in her hand, the comb in her hair. The bra, I don't even know why they even bother wearing the bra. It's just literally falling off. And her sister seems like she's having a stretch. Yeah, there's a little bit of damage on my copy just at the bottom there, so you don't quite see the full text. But hey ho. Again, you can find this online quite a lot. It's not a real tough one, but quite expensive if it's in really nice condition. 1952 again. This is number 52 in the Archer book series. You've got the UK price and you've got the American price on there, but this is the UK Archer book version. And wow, yeah. So for your 2 shillings and 6pence, you got that. And I think you'd be value for money all the way. And there you go, Sinful Sisters, Archer book. On the back there. So there you go, there you have it, Roland Vane. Just a few from my collection. Ben Sarto and Roland Vane, hope you've enjoyed it. I'm going to go back to some American digests, I think, for next time. Might even do a bit of uni. Who knows? I'll decide. But anyway, I hope you can come back and join me. And thanks for checking in. Leave a comment and share it if you want, by all means. And that would be wonderful. Hit that like button. And yeah, I hope to see you real soon with more books. See you soon.